And a good hearty afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Spotlight. No, Stars. Speaking of Spotlight, we have a guest that just walked into the studio.
Hi.
Ray is our off-site tech guy. You'll see him on our video camera right over there. Say hi to our audience.
Happy holidays.
Hi with the best side.
Welcome to Stars of VANR. Aaron Phillips, John JPEG Styles, Lawrence on the board, and today in our hot seat is the host of Voices in Vegas. Miss Susan Feldman joins us today. Welcome, Miss Susan. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you, Aaron?
I'm doing okay. Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. I was home, sick in bed with the flu.
Oh, no.
But I hope everybody else had a great time. I certainly did, taking care of myself. I should have gotten the shot that was required of where I work at UMC, but
Right.
I was so busy in November with my daughter's bat mitzvah
Right, you
that
were
I
a little
forgot.
busy.
And so instead of getting the shot like I should have, I got the flu instead.
Now, what does a nurse do for themselves when they get sick?
Well, that was on my mind while I was in bed, because I was thinking, nurses need to be nursing nurses.
Okay.
But the problem is that nobody takes as good care of her patient as I can.
Okay.
So anybody, even if she was Florence Nightingale,
Right.
I'd be sitting there complaining about something, because when you're on the other side of the bed rail, that's your
Right.
job.
That's right.
You have to get well. But so I kind of had, I really felt very abandoned because my whole family was in Colorado and I was nursing myself. Nurse, heal thyself. Amen.
Well, isn't there, the old story is a doctor's worst patient is themselves, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So,
yeah, a little bit of information is.
We'll kill you.
Yeah, I kind of think that, the keeping a little bit mysterious about, taking care of somebody,
Sure.
not getting to be too familiar. It's sort of like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
That's right. Exactly.
Part of it is if you tell somebody that this will work, it will.
Okay. Well, that's the mental aspect.
That's the mental aspect.
For those of you joining us on Stars of VANR for the first time, this is the show where we highlight our different show hosts about their show, about them, so you get a little more inside understanding about what makes them tick when they host their show, what their show's about, because they can only do so much during their show because they're trying to provide their content to you, the audience. And so we've put this platform aside so that we can spend a little more time with our show hosts. You get to learn a little more about them. So, listen, this is going to be all about you. We're going to focus on your show. We're going to focus on your background, how you got to where you are today. We'll have some fun. We'll share some stories. If you're listening and you want to call and say hi to Susan, call at 702-483-4444. John, don't call. You're sitting right next to her. 702-483-4444. You can also Skype us at Vegas All Net Radio if you want to Skype in and say hello to Susan, ask a question. Because I'll tell you what, I've only known Susan for a couple of months, but I feel like I've known her probably all my life because she's a very, and I say that wholeheartedly and sincerely because you are a very open person. You say things the way that they are, like I did back east. You share your emotions, and at the same time, and I'm blessed to be in this circle with you. You are very, what's the word I want to look for? Not strict's not the right word. Well, she is cool.
Oh, thank you.
She is
fabulous.
Cool,
Fabulous.
But you bring people, you bring certain people into your inner circle. And I'm blessed that having to get to know you up to preparing for Caroline's Bat Mitzvah, which I was honored to be the MC and host for.
By the way, thank you very much, Aaron. You did a great job.
Thank you. The pleasure was all mine, and I had a blast doing it, and I'm glad everybody responded to my shenanigans. We're blessed. Both my wife and I are blessed that we consider you a friend. We saw you Saturday night. We were all out having a good time over at Isabella's. So so I've gotten to know Susan a little bit and her family, and I'll tell you, this is a lady who knows a lot of great people in this town, but her experiences, because she's a UMC nurse in the OBG, like the baby delivery section.
Not a USMC.
No, not USMC.
Okay.
But she is from USC.
Yes.
She went to USC, which
Of
would be
course.
a whole other topic of
Of
discussion.
course.
Fight on, Trojans.
There
Yay.
you go.
Thank you, Bruins. I want to say thank you. You did a great job. Thank you very much. Fight on.
Is it just me, or does anybody see the irony in a Trojan working in the baby delivery section?
Yeah,
is there irony there, or is it just me?
Oh, we work better under pressure.
So, okay. All right, so let's start where you
Wait. Ask me what my high school mascot was.
What was your high school mascot?
We were the Sheiks.
Oh.
Okay.
Fairfax High School was our rival.
That's right. And I went to Marshall High School.
I know.
What year did you graduate?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
1965.
Okay. I graduated
Long before
John.
you, yeah.
Yeah, long time. That's when I started kindergarten, by by
I was
No kidding.
I was
Yeah.
1 when you graduated. I was 1.
Wow.
But I went to Marshall High
You were
School.
still in diapers. I was in the war, man.
Now you're in diapers, and I'm not.
I may be giving you a
it
call
all
later.
goes around. It's the circle of life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I grew up in LA. I went to Marshall High School.
Cool.
I graduated in the class of 1977, which is, I have to say, the best class that ever graduated from that school. But it's still a wonderful school. It's always been very highly, it's a public school, but
Yeah.
it's very highly academically ranked.
They are. They were one of the better in Southern California.
Yeah.
So.
And Fairfax. But you lived across the street from Cantor's.
Not across the street, but
Oh.
I spent a lot of time there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there in the farmer's market. Yeah, I love Cantor's. I love, I still go, every time I go back there to LA, I always go there. They still have the same great pickles.
Uh-huh.
You can't beat it. And,
No.
And,
And
Kaiser
they had the
roll-
barrels, the old wooden barrels.
No, they put them on the table.
Oh, okay. Oh, in
But-
the little container.
But
Yeah.
Cantor's was a deli.
Right.
That
Mhm.
was
World
it's kind of
famous.
world famous.
Yeah,
It's
it
an
is
LA
world famous.
joint.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, yeah, it's that whole Fairfax district. It was the hub. Everyone.
Well,
went
we
there.
call it the Bagel Belt.
Yeah.
Is that a third cousin of the Borscht Belt
Yes.
from back east?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Closely
In
related.
fact,
Yes.
they even have what's that line or the string that goes all the way around for the observant
Equator.
Orthodox. No, the Orthodox. It's so that you
Yeah.
can. Oh well, never
To
mind.
separate men from women?
No,
Oh.
around the community. So on the Shabbat, you can Sabbath, you can walk
okay.
and carry
Gotcha.
things. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, and
I
Anything-
can't remember the name of
If
it.
term
you
escapes
if
me.
you say Jewish deli
right.
anywhere west of New York, they're talking
Cantor's.
about Cantor's.
Cantor's.
Yeah. So
Or Juniors. Juniors was another one.
Yeah.
Those were the UCLA people.
yeah,
Juniors is
Yuppie scum.
the kosher deli in
Yeah.
in Westwood.
yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Very good to know. Here you just say Bagel Cafe. That's as close as you'll get.
Oh,
Here
I
in
love the
Vegas.
Bagel
Me
Cafe.
too.
Oh,
Yeah,
love
that's
place.
you know.
But you know what I miss from my deli back east? The sloppy joes. And I'm not talking about the meat, like the chopped meat on the roll.
Uh-huh.
It was a triple-decker cold cut sandwich that you used to cut into little squares. And it would be, my mom always used to order me, she restaurant, it was corned beef, pastrami, turkey with Russian dressing and coleslaw on like the thinnest rye/white bread you can find. And they were called sloppy joes.
Yeah.
And
'Cause they were sloppy.
Oh, but they were good.
I bet.
Oh,
That
they
sounds
were
good. My
When we
mouth
first
is-
moved out here, we had them shipped out here on dry ice. I mean, because nobody out here does anything
Yeah.
like that.
You know, isn't that interesting? One thing that I have found very ironic in Las Vegas is when you live here, getting certain items is very difficult. You have to they have to call to California, and I can't believe that this is almost 2016. And if I request like a certain wine,
Right.
no, they can't get it. And it's like, are you kidding me? This is the Strip. This is
I know.
Vegas. This is Sin City.
Exactly. You should
be
What do
getting
you
everything.
want?
You should
I'll
be able to
10
get
of it.
any kind of food in the
Gold
world
dipped.
right here.
Exactly.
I mean, this
But-
is a destination resort, and people come from all over the world.
I was ordering gardenias. Now,
Oh, wow.
I love gardenias.
Yeah.
But you don't know how many florists told me, oh, we can't do that. And I'm thinking, can't? What are you talking about?
Christ, they grow
I
wild
went to
all over
SC.
Southern
There's
California.
no such word as can't. Can't? That's for somebody else.
Challenge
That's right.
accepted.
There you go.
Challenge
So we need to
accepted.
open up a restaurant that will serve any kind of food that you want
No, I need a beach house in Southern California. That's what I need.
in Las Vegas.
Angels, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Beach house.
Okay.
Put it out there. And we'll even talk about that. because she's also very spiritual. She follows and does all that stuff too. So we got a lot to talk about. So you grew up in California.
I grew up in Southern California.
Now, how long? Now, from there, did you come to Vegas?
No, I grew up. I went to USC. I graduated with the class of 1981, and my degree is in public affairs.
Okay.
Which is basically government.
Right.
Now, this is, well, you know what? I loved it. It's civics.
Yeah, that's perfect.
But let me tell you the difference. I remember, and it's funny because I was watching the SC UCLA game, and I went to college.
Who were you rooting for?
Yes. And in my classes, right on. Alma mater, dear, looks up to you. Fight on and win for old SC. Fight on to victory. Okay, that's enough. Anyway,
Lines with the musical
Now play.
when we were
Now
at,
play,
when I was
Tusk.
when I was at SC, there was always this thing, and it still is, the difference between if you are a business major or public administration. Because business, those majors, they're into business, okay? If you look at like Donald Trump, okay? But if you look at people who are in public administration, we aren't so much into the ego thing. We're much more into how do you run governments?
Right.
How do you get the needs of everybody met? So I remember feeling like, I should have gone business, but I have no sechel, so that's fine. That's why I married. Well, anyway, I have good friends who are business majors, and that's their forte. But the interesting thing is, all the football players, I was thinking, I had a lot of the SC football players were in my classes, and I always thought, well, I guess I'm in the right crowd because, I like to live well. Anyway, but really what I think that all those football players were taking public administration, public affairs, was because it involves teamwork. In business, it's more competition.
Yes.
Government has nothing to do with competition, and it's not about making money. It's about getting the needs, the resources, or managing the world we live in, so that we can live a healthier, happier life for many generations to come. And business and government should work together.
And who is your campaign manager?
Well, I don't go there.
No.
I will only accept the office of Empress.
Okay.
Office of Empress. I could see that.
Yes.
I could see that.
But I think that, when you work in government, it's not so much you have to work more efficiently as far as money. Well, money is important, but really working together. And that's what I'd really like to see more in government and,
As opposed to politics.
as opposed to politics and business. There's a place for business.
Yes, there
I
is.
think
Of course there is.
Donald Trump is great. He runs his business. But he answers to shareholders, not constituents.
Right.
And constituents, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Well, maybe it does. But the thing is, everyone's allowed one vote. If you don't own shares of a company, you don't vote.
Right.
But because we're all Americans and we're citizens and we can vote, that is our piece of the pie, of the share. We are shareholders in the government. And that's all I have to say about that.
This message was brought to you and approved by.
I just kind of thought that, government needs to work like a team,
Sure,
like a
absolutely.
football team.
Absolutely.
You have to have defense and offense, and you have to work together. Know when to pass the ball. Oh, you know who I'm really into now is Juju Smith.
Who's that?
He is the USC, is he a freshman? But he was the running back.
Oh, okay.
And do you know that he was playing with a recently repaired hand
No, I didn't know that.
that had a screw in it? And did you see how many times he caught that ball like boom, like it was like glue?
After my Nittany Lions got crushed by Michigan State, I didn't watch any more college football Saturday.
Yes. My
All right.
condolences.
Well, thank you. Yes, it was a bad way to end. And then my Giants, I don't know what they were doing yesterday. Anyway, with that, we're going to step aside for our first break. More with Susan Feldman from Voices in Vegas, which airs every Tuesday from 12 to 1. So if you've never had a nooner, join Susan on Tuesdays at 12 and join in. We'll be back right after this. All right, welcome back to Stars of VANR. Aaron Phillips, John JPEG Styles, Lawrence on the board, and you, the listener. 702-483-4444 is our number if you want to give a call in. Say hey to Susan, say hey to any of us, whatever you want to do. Vegas All Net Radio is our Skype line. And if you want to give a message or a shout out or wish somebody a happy holidays, we're here for you. In today's hot seat is the host of Voices in Vegas, which airs every Tuesday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. right here on this very network. Miss Susan Feldman joins us. So,
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
oh, it's our pleasure. Are you kidding me?
Thank you for inviting me, John.
You're welcome.
I've waited for this since you've been on the air. We finally had an opening to make it happen. So it's
Fabulous.
good. All right. So you went to USC. You public affairs. How long? So you were in college for 4 years.
5.
Oh, you did the 5-year plan.
Yeah, I went to Europe for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told my parents I wanted to study abroad. Unfortunately, they didn't read the subtitles because the subtitles said, I want a vacation and I want you to pay for it. And they went for it.
I told my parents that
And
too.
they went for it. And that's how you went in the
I wanted
the
to
Marines?
study abroad. So my dad got me a hooker.
Oh. So I studied a semester at the University of Helsinki, and I
Okay.
learned to speak Finnish.
Okay.
And because my family is from Finland.
Right.
And then I went and lived in West Berlin for a little while with my cousins.
Okay.
And that
Wait.
was when the wall was up.
I was
Oh,
just
wow.
going to say, what year was that? So-
79,
Wow.
80. Yeah, that was cool. I
Wow.
mean, it was going to Checkpoint Charlie. We traveled to East Berlin, which was
Okay.
fabulous. East Berlin was just so sad. It was just it was just stark. It was so Spartan. And I loved West Berlin. Berlin is one of the best cities in the world. It's so cosmopolitan. So then I came back and I finished up at SC and I graduated, and I really wasn't that interested in working in politics. So I decided that I needed a place to hang out and hide out while I figured out what I wanted to do. And so I decided to go to nursing school.
Okay.
And so I went to, it's Los Angeles County, USC Medical Center School of Nursing.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with SC.
Gotcha.
My nursing education is from LA County.
Okay.
And LA County is, we used to call it affectionately the Gun and Knife Club. And it's really quite a compound of
Okay.
medical hospitals. And I got quite an education there, and it was wonderful. And after that, I worked for about 6 months after I graduated in infected orthopedics. We used to
Infected
affectionately call that place the pus ward.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It was. I learned so much. Skin grafts, medications, IVs, central lines, dressing changes. It was great. But I really wanted to get into OB. So I went over to a women's hospital, and I worked there for 2 years. And then I got married and decided that I wanted to go into the private hospital. So I worked at a private hospital close by, in LA, for about 8 years.
Okay.
And then I worked what you call a registry.
Okay.
I don't know. Do you know what a registry
I do
is?
not.
Yes.
A registry is like
On call.
right. And so this particular registry, it was called Heartline, and I want to mention the company because the woman who owned it was a OB nurse.
Okay.
And she took such great care of us nurses. She really made sure that we had nice, satisfying assignments because we went to some challenging hospitals. But the thing is, though, that we were always taken care of. And I definitely enjoyed the increase in pay and the flexibility of hours.
Sure.
And meeting all kinds of new people.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed, instead of working at one place, I enjoyed working different places. Right now I work at UMC. So anyway, we moved here in 1998.
Okay.
And I interviewed at 5 hospitals, and 4 of them told me that they didn't have any full-time positions. Oh, they wanted me to work right away.
Okay.
They wanted to offer me a job. I went to UMC, and the person who interviewed me said, well, we really don't have any positions for you. Would you like to work, per diem, like
Right.
on a day? I said, right on. And I've been working there 18 years, and I absolutely love the place. I think they have the best nurses. They are on the cutting edge of treatments and education. And I think that place is a great
But
hospital.
It's a learning hospital, is it not?
It's a teaching hospital.
Right.
Yes. So we have dental students.
Right.
We have nursing students. And we have medical students from different medical schools, not just University of Nevada, but also Touro and Roseman and all these other places.
And a lot of, I mean, that is the trauma center here in town, is it not?
Yes, it's the only trauma center between Salt Lake City and Riverside, California.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you get into any kind of trauma, you're going to be airlifted. Anywhere between Salt Lake and Riverside, you'll probably be airlifted to UMC.
So the medical personnel there pretty much get a baptism by fire.
Yes, but also these residents and interns who are already doctors,
Right.
they're also being taught by the people who are writing the books and doing the research.
Right, but what I mean is, what better place
Oh,
to do
absolutely.
your residency in a hospital like that, because you're going to
You're gonna
learn
see
so
everything.
much more in such a short period of time.
Yes.
That's awesome. So
And they really do put the patients first. I've been to other hospitals, and the hospitality at UMC is wonderful.
And that's all she's going to say about
And
that.
that's all I'm going to say.
Now, so you're still there.
Yes.
And I know because of HIPAA and everything, I can't ask any silly questions about some of your patients, so I won't.
Okay.
Now, you also though dabble in some other things.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of those other things that garner your interest. You do Reiki and the
Reiki.
holistic stuff and all of that. Talk about that.
Yeah. In 2002, after 12 years of trying to have another child, I finally gave up. And I just said, you know what? I'm just supposed to have one child.
It is what it is.
Next month, I was pregnant. I was 43, and I was like, what? And all of a sudden, there was kind of this thing that hit me of, for as much as we want to know about science, if there isn't that spark of God involved, forget about it. And I started thinking, we do we spend a lot of time taking care of the body.
Okay.
We do kind of a so-so job in our society of taking care of the brain.
yeah, that's
the mind.
debatable.
And we don't ever address the soul.
Or the spirit.
Or the spirit.
Right.
And, you can take an egg and a sperm and put it in a dish and it'll fertilize. But whether or not those cells are going to differentiate and create a human, that's something completely different. That's something that I think is just of the ethers or the essence. I don't understand that part. But I find that people who are much more, how can I put it? Their mind controls their body. Their body doesn't control their mind. And you can see this with a lot of people who do meditation and biofeedback. And I kind of started thinking, we might be able to augment all of this high-tech stuff if we had a way of energizing or healing the mind, body, and spirit of whoever is traumatized. And so I let it just lay like that. And then I had to renew my nursing license. And it's like, I have to earn a lot of units. And I found this class in California, and it was a 3-day class in Southern California, Sierra Madre, right on.
All right.
And I didn't have to believe anything. I just had to go to the class, take the test, and I'm done. And I can get my nursing license, and I'm out of there. Well, I went there, and I was pretty blown away. And for someone who's a person of science, I really, what I call, I have a term for it. I had my neck snapped. It was sort of like, wow, what was that? And when I saw people coming in, the first experience was a Reiki share, which is where you get Reiki practitioners together, because it's sort of like nurses nursing nurses.
Okay.
No one is going to take care of you as good as you can.
Right.
But when you're passed out on the bed, you have to kind of humble yourself and let somebody else,
Right.
which for nurses is very hard to let someone else take care of you.
Right.
Because that's not my gig. So you can only imagine last year when I was getting chemo, I was like, no, I'm supposed to be on the other side.
That's right.
I kept aligning myself with the nurses to make sure that the patients knew that I wasn't one of them. What's wrong with me? Anyway, so I took this class and I was blown away. I started practicing it or using it in my everyday life. And it was very interesting how these experiments were turning out. And it was all about human behavior and manipulating the energy. When you're going down a stream or a river that's going really fast, sometimes it's probably better to just float along than to hang on to something or try to fight it and crash into the rocks. Well, Reiki is kind of that feeling of you get in tune with the energy of the cosmos, of the groove, and then you kind of can, it's hard to put in words, you can work it to your advantage.
Okay.
Because I'm all about me. I'm teasing. I'm not, but when you can feel how the energy goes, some people are very sensitive to it, and other people are insensitive to it.
Okay.
So nurses happen to be one of those. We are naturally empathic. I mean, there's a reason why we went to nursing school, not law school. Okay? Because we care about people and we want to help.
The relationship side.
The relationship of making this world a better place, not just for me, but for everybody. So using this Reiki, then I started taking more classes, and eventually I went to Japan. And with a group of Reiki practitioners, and we studied at a couple different schools in Kyoto. And Kyoto is absolutely beautiful. It's really someplace to go. If you go anywhere, make sure you go to Kyoto. That's beautiful. Then I came back and I said, I really would like to have my own Reiki center. But I don't have any sechel. And sechel, if you want to know, is Yiddish for
sense.
Business sense.
Right.
And I just want to do my thing. How somebody, how it's funded is kind of like my friends who majored in business.
Right,
That's their job.
right.
I have a use for everybody.
That's
And so I put it out there to the angels. Lo and behold, 6 months later, my husband comes home, says, I rented something today. And I said, all right, so what? You do that every day? He said, no, I rented a place to a nice Jewish lady who does Reiki. And it was Debbie Veach. And she started out as one person, Enchanted Forest Reiki. And her business has just boomed. And of course, many years. I mean, this started in 2010.
Right.
So it's been 5 years, but she's really, we're starting to pick up momentum because there's a lot of us out there who have the same sense. We're empaths, but you don't feel, it's very hard. I mean, I know what it feels like to be persecuted in my own family.
Right.
Because when I talk about Reiki, somebody's hurt. Can I do Reiki? Oh no, get away from me. And yet at the hospital, the nurses are like, oh, I'm having a tough day. Can you give me some Reiki?
right.
So it's very interesting. Some people get it, some
Right.
people don't. I don't believe in forcing anything, but
Right.
for those
Well, the
people
receiver
that
the receiver has to want to believe it and accept
well,
it.
you have to be open to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Similar to what we saw Saturday night.
Yes. So energy vampires, whenever somebody doesn't want Reiki from me, I figure they're an energy vampire.
Oh, okay.
Because I've done Reiki on my computer and I killed it.
Oh.
So, on negative energy, Reiki can have a negative effect on you if you're a negative person. It'll turn you into a positive person.
Gotcha. All right. On that note, we're going to step aside for a quick break. You're listening to Stars of VANR right here on Vegas All Net Radio. Susan Feldman, host of Voices in Vegas. We're going to talk about her show, what her show's about, coming up on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Stars of VANR. We are chatting today with Susan Feldman, host of Voices in Vegas, which you can hear every Tuesday afternoon at high noon Pacific time, or a nooner with Susan, as we like to say around here. If you've never had one, Susan will be more than happy to oblige you with the nooner on Tuesdays.
You know what I like about her show?
What's that?
You never know what they're going to be talking about.
I don't think they know what they're going to talk about.
No. And that's what's great about it is I've heard them start off in one direction, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, okay, they're going to start talking about, and then 3 minutes later, they're way off someplace else, and it's always interesting, and it's always like, oh, cool. So keep it up.
Well, I let the angels write my show.
Cool.
Yeah. Because that's what the
they
whole
do
thing
pretty
is
good
really
so
about.
far. Let 'em
yeah, they do.
keep letting them do it.
You,
Yeah.
I mean, I had to get out of my own way.
Yeah, there you go.
Because when I was approached with the show, I was kind of thinking, oh, brother, I can't even stand to listen to myself, on my answering machine. I thought nobody's going to listen to me. So, but then I said the angels And that's another thing I work with is the Angels. They said, no, go on. We want you to be out there.
You're not talking about
because-
the baseball team, right?
No, but I
Okay.
do like them too.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Dodgers. Oh,
I
I'm
thought
sorry,
so.
Dodgers. Sorry, I'm a Dodgers fan.
Yeah. Chavez Ravine.
I grew up in the ghetto over there near Echo
Anyway,
Park.
sorry,
But anyway.
go ahead.
So where were we?
Angels
talking
telling you
about
to do the
angels.
show.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. I was at the hospital the other day because UMC is very progressive, and they're really on the cutting edge of a lot of research. And there is in the nursing community there talk of a holistic nursing department.
Wow.
Where we can, nurse. Focus on that, the art of caring. Gene
Would that
Watson.
be voluntary for the patients, or
Well, I'd like to
something-
get paid. Oh, yes.
No. I mean, is that something that the patient would have to volunteer for?
The patient could request
Right.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they would put it in the computer.
Right. It's an option that's available to them.
Yes, if they would like to talk to some. Yeah, exactly. They're
That would
having
be
a bad
cool.
day.
Yeah.
Maybe their nurse needs Reiki. They can call me. I'll go
Okay.
and give their nurse Reiki.
Okay.
Because nurses need it.
Yeah.
We deal
More
with
than
people
anybody.
all the time. We
Yeah.
are constantly barraged by all of this energy. And
How do you handle all of that, and for lack of a better term, negative energy coming at you day after day after day after day?
well, I have to say that Reiki changed my profession.
Okay.
It taught me how to energetically protect myself, but also as a nurse, people don't come to me because they're having a great day.
Exactly.
Nobody calls me up and says, "Hey," except Ray. Oh, no, my posse does.
Yeah.
Julie Martini, Mary Jo Paulus, April Freed, who else? All my AO Pi USC sisters, Alpha Omicron Pi sorority sisters, they rock. But
Everybody else sucks, right?
everyone, no. But I do understand that people have a crisis or they have a challenge. And when they come to the hospital, they're looking at me to take care of them for that moment, just to hold that space for them while they can get help. And that's basically, what we do. Nursing also involves a lot of hand-holding and talking and working it out. And I think that a lot of that comes from knowing yourself. I've been a nurse for 33 years, and my patients have been my best teachers. In fact, I never, ever ask for my assignment. I don't pick my patients. I let the angels pick my patients, because it never fails that if I pick my patient, it's not the person that I was supposed to, because I'm there for the patient.
Right.
The patient isn't there for me. So when I go, I always...
Or so you think.
Oh, yeah. But when I approach a patient, I feel that this is a gift that has been given to me. And I know that whatever this person tells me or says to me, I have access to the resources that they need. And it gives me a great feeling. I mean, I don't know how many people wake up in the morning and can hardly wait to go to work, because that's me. I really, that place, and not only
That's
that, but the
that's a
nurses.
blessing. Yeah, that's a blessing
But
when-
not
when
only
you get that.
but it's the whole environment on that 7th floor.
Yeah.
My boss, Ann Lee, great nurse. The charge nurses, boy, they really are on the ball. It's a pleasure to work there because
if you-
everybody works together, and and when we all work together, the patients benefit.
Yeah. There was some budget issues a few years back with UMC and the nursing staff and not having adequate nursing staff. Has that improved, or because that's got to be tough on the nurses to have 10, 15, 20 patients.
Yeah, and I don't think our census is usually that bad.
Okay.
We have great administration, and we always have a head nurse who's constantly roving around and making sure that all the resources get where they need to go. It's a very busy place. We do the best we can. I have 2 hands and
Right.
2 feet, and I don't have wings yet, so I can only move so
As
fast.
they come when you become empress.
Yes. Ooh, can I order them now?
Yeah.
And it's I like working up on the 7th floor also because the nurses are really into the patients. You rarely see L&D nurses sitting in the break room.
And
We
what-
are either helping other people or we're helping other units, but those nurses are great. They work
What
really
happens
hard.
on the 7th floor? What's going on there?
The 7th floor, I call
Yeah.
it 7th heaven. It's labor and delivery.
Okay. So it's
And-
OBGYN. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Not
No, no.
gynecology,
Right,
but
I mean,
obstetrics.
Yeah, obstetrics. I'm sorry.
And we also have the neonatal intensive care unit up there. And those nurses, that unit is fabulous. Runs so well. And the nurses are very caring. We really, really love our patients.
That's cool.
That's what makes it nice to work there.
So how do you find time? Now you work, 4 days pretty much at UMC, kind of on call 4-day thing?
I work 1 day a week, 2 days a week.
Okay, I thought it was 4. Okay, so you're a couple of days
I
a
have a
week.
high maintenance family.
And
I go to work to escape.
who doesn't? So you have that. You have Reiki. What else you have besides the radio show? Which I assume the radio show is sort of like therapy for you. It's that escape for the hour once a week where you can just kind of get away from everything and let loose.
Well, it's where I get to play with my friends.
Right.
I have fabulous friends, and they live basically all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to go visit them and entertain them one-on-one, it would take forever.
Right.
This way, I love it. The Angels gave me a playground.
Yeah.
And I come here to Vegas All Net Radio.
Mm-hmm.
My friends can call me. We can talk about anything. And other people join in, which is even better
Mm-hmm.
because it's sort of like once a week I have all my friends get together. It's wonderful. I think more people should do it. Your friends are really your resource.
It's a
And-
party.
Oh, I call my friends up. I call Mary Jo, Julie, April, just to hear their voices. They could read the newspaper. I don't care. I just want to hear their voices and know that, they're the ones.
connection.
Yeah, they're the ones who always talk me off the ledge.
Now, on Saturday nights, and I don't know if you're aware of this.
No.
But every show host has the opportunity to host a show on Saturday night from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
2 a.m.
I'm sorry,
10 p.m.
10 p.m. to 2
2
a.m.
a.m.
called Up All Night, where you, as a show host, can spend 4 hours playing music, doing whatever you want.
Playing games?
You could play games,
Oh
whatever
my
you want to
gosh. Julie Martini, Mary Jo, April, any SCAO pies, y'all come. We're going to do this.
do. So we got to get you on the schedule.
Okay.
Pick a Saturday night. You can either do it live in
Okay.
studio from that time to that time, which case we'd have to arrange for a board op, or you can schedule to actually pre-record the show if you want to. But
Oh,
that's-
that would be great because we have a new chapter at the University of Nevada at
Okay,
Reno.
okay.
And I really would like all of those newbie AO pies to come down here and we can have a real party down here.
Absolutely. So we'll have to sit down with you and get some of those particulars ironed out. But I think
All
we'll
right.
have a blast
It's
on that
on.
Saturday night.
You know
You're
what?
invited. You heard it here first.
One other thing that we do that would be perfect for you and your friends, and we're
My fabulous friends.
your fabulous friends.
Oh, you guys are my fabulous friends.
We
too.
appreciate
Thank
that.
you. I kind of got that feeling. Yeah. And we call it reunion radio.
Reunion Radio.
So let's say that you have some sorority sisters that are going to be in town.
Uh-huh.
And they can come in, do a radio show here, and it's broadcast live over the internet while it's going on. Plus we videotape it, and then that gets uploaded to YouTube.
Oh my goodness.
that awesome or
oh,
what?
This is going to be an event.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see it now.
I
goodness.
just did it with my family.
A month ago.
Yeah, in early October.
October.
I had my sister, her husband, my brother, my ex-wife, my son, and my niece and nephew from the UK. And so we all came in the studio, and we just had kind of a little family reunion for an hour.
fun.
Videotaped it, so everybody got to go home with some memories, and it was there for those people who couldn't be here.
Right.
Could participate.
That's
It
a
was
great
so
idea.
much fun.
Oh, yeah. And, when I party hard.
Yeah.
But I also have to tell you that I work hard.
Yes, you do.
I remember when I was in school, I joke that I always made sure that I kept up the gentleman C's. Me and FDR.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, that when I got to nursing school, it was a different show. I really started to pay attention and study. And I realized that, I had always studied hard, but I always made sure that I had a balance.
Yes, you have to have a balance.
So for as much as I studied, I played equally. as much.
That's the part I'm missing right now.
Yeah, well, that's why I want
gotta do
people
a little
to
more
realize
of
that
that.
it's important to work
Yes, it is.
because you have to have a purpose and a reason in your life for what you're doing. But when there isn't, when you do have downtime, it's a great time. It's a great way. Some people don't know how to relax and
Yeah.
have fun. I can't imagine that. Oh my good Lord, hang out with me. It's
Yeah.
a party all the time, even when it's not. But life is like that.
It is a party.
Life is a party.
It is a party.
And some people are like, oh, what is it from MAME? MAME, life is a buffet, and most people are starving.
Life is a cabaret.
Life is
a cabaret.
Oh, I love
also.
that. I want to watch that movie.
On that note, we're going to go to our final break because we come back to the other side. It is time for the
I'll
very
stop singing.
It is time for the very special questions
Uh-oh.
that I have prepared for Susan Feldman.
If there's a test,
There is a test.
oh, dang.
Something tells me
Nobody
already-
fails.
I hope it's
Nobody
not
fails.
ACLS.
Everybody
No,
passes.
No, everybody
Oh, thank
passes.
God.
It's like an opinion test.
Oh, okay.
We'll be
Oh,
back right after this.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion.
All right, welcome back to the Clubhouse Turn. We're down to about 7 or 8 minutes. Is that right, Lawrence? All right, very good. You'll keep me on time, as I know you will. All right, so, Miss Susan, this is the part of the show where I like to ask questions that are so off the charts
Okay.
to learn even more about you
Okay.
for the audience, okay? So, like John said before we went to break,
Think carefully.
Think
nobody
Before you
nobody
answer.
nobody has failed this test. Nobody has gone out of the room screaming.
Do I get my units?
Yes, you get your units.
If you can get
That's
your,
it. That's-
I want to get credit for that.
Just for showing up.
just for showing up.
hey,
You
that's
get
how I
credit
went through
just
high
for showing
school.
up. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, here you go. First question. What's your favorite all-time movie?
Victor Victoria.
Really?
Yeah.
With Julie Andrews, right? Was she the one that was in
Yeah.
that? Right?
And James Garner.
And James Garner.
I
Wow.
love Blake Edwards.
Okay.
Me too.
Such
He's
a
awesome. And the guy
witty-
is a wit.
Oh, and his writing.
Yeah.
That movie is. Oh, and Young Frankenstein. Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks too. In fact, we
Frau
can't even
Blucher.
watch. Ooh,
Do you know where that came from? That joke?
No.
About the Frau Blucher's?
it's the glue.
It's glue.
Okay.
And that's what
It is
the word meant was
Gotcha.
glue.
Okay.
So
Did not know that. All right.
So hilarious.
No, Young Frankenstein was a great movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who's your favorite actor of all time?
I would have to say Jack Nicholson and
Okay.
Warren Beatty.
Oh, okay.
Jack Nicholson, I find to be a very, very gifted actor. And his body of work is amazing.
Okay. Warren Beatty?
That's kind of a high school crush.
Okay.
I really liked him in Shampoo. I used to get my hair cut at John Peters in Beverly Hills.
Oh,
really?
So,
I thought he was very good in Heaven Can Wait in the remake.
I think he's great.
He was great in that and a couple other movies.
But he kind of always plays Warren Beatty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Kind of like Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
Even when she was Yentl, she was still
She
Barbara
was still
Streisand.
Barbara Streisand, right?
Who's your favorite actress of all time?
Meryl Streep.
We get Meryl Streep a lot with that question, don't we?
She's so talented, and she's truly an actress. She's
Right.
not a celebrity. She's not a. She really has spent many years studying and honing her craft.
And most recently, the last 10 years, her type of movies, she's really put herself out, like Mamma Mia.
Yeah.
And the
I
one
just
she
saw
did with Rick Springfield.
Ricky in the Flash.
That's right.
I just saw that.
Right.
Was awesome.
Right.
And the one to watch out for is her daughter actually
Yes.
plays
Is in the
her
movie.
daughter in there.
Right.
And you keep your eye on her.
and her daughters are just as beautiful.
That's
as
what I
her.
mean. Her
oh yeah.
Her daughter
Right.
is her daughter is going to be another Meryl Streep.
Yeah,
Wow.
I get the chills thinking
Yeah,
about
she
that.
just- she's
she's very. She's
awesome.
really. She reminds me of someone like Helen Hayes.
Okay.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know, that kind of
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah.
If you were on a deserted island and could only take two things with you, what would you take with you or have to have with you on the island to survive?
Gosh. Well, you have to have enough water.
You're on an island. You're surrounded by
Okay.
water.
Well, I want water.
drinkable water.
Yes. And then I would have to say pleasant companionship.
Okay.
And I'm not going to say any names
No, no,
because
no, that's all right.
there's a lot of people that I would like to be stuck
Like
on
a
an island
Wilson,
with.
like a Wilson volleyball.
No. No, like really somebody to talk to.
Gotcha. All right. If you were not a nurse for the last 33 years, what occupation would you have liked to have tried during that time?
Oh my goodness. Gosh, I don't, isn't that funny? I've always, even if you look at my astrological chart, there's nurse written all over it. And I've always been that kind of a person. But I guess, you know what I'd really like to be? I think I'd really like to try being a lawyer.
I can see that.
But you know what I always have problems with is objections. I never understand why somebody stands up and objects.
They don't like the question.
Yeah, but how do you know if it's a good question or not? It's a question.
Because if it goes against
Well, I didn't go to law school. I went to nursing
They
school.
don't want that question answered.
I've been
That's-
married
that's
to
right.
an extremely, very well-educated and wonderful, a great lawyer. So I definitely understand that.
I dated a lawyer for a while, and every time she talked to me, I felt like I was being cross-examined. and she knew that she was doing it half the time, and I
Yeah.
would just look at her and say, "We're not in court." She'd go, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
But you have to, when you listen to them and when they speak, they have a line of reason.
Yes.
There's always that
They're
long
leading
reason.
you. They want an answer out of
But-
you, and
And my husband is very good at that.
Right.
But as a nurse, I don't want a brief.
Right.
Okay. I want
You need
someone
the
to
whole
say
thing.
epinephrine, 10 milligrams, get it.
Right, exactly.
I'm not going to be discussing this.
Yeah.
So the communication style
Right.
is different. And
Gotcha.
I really wish I had the time that lawyers have to peruse and complain and discuss things that happened in the past.
Sure.
I'm dealing with now. So
All right,
anyway.
we got a couple of minutes left, so let me get through the rest of these real
Okay.
quickly. What's your favorite song?
Anything by Gershwin,
Okay.
Ooh.
Classical, sort of.
City and Blue.
Cole Porter.
Favorite curse word?
Oh, all of them. I like to cuss.
Okay.
I really like to cuss. And, it's so offensive.
Give me one.
Fuck.
What's your least favorite curse word?
Shut up.
That's twice we've gotten that.
That's a curse word to me.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
ever tell. You can tell someone to be quiet.
Okay.
But to shut up.
That's harsh. Okay.
That's not nice.
Last but not least, when you're standing at the pearly gates and God is there to greet you, to open up the gates, what is it you hope that he or she says to you upon entering heaven?
Welcome home.
There you go. All right. Susan Feldman, host of Voices in Vegas, every Tuesday from 12 to 1. You survived the hot seat.
Oh, did I win?
You won.
What did I win?
You get to come on the air tomorrow at noontime. All right, next week, I actually looked at the schedule
Oh,
before
good.
coming in here this time. Next week at this time, we have Don Lewis Barnhart.
Oh, that
host
guy-
of Bring It On with Barnhart.
He's a trip.
He's a great guy.
He's a trip.
He's worked with a lot of tremendous stars out there. Robin Williams, Jonathan Winters. He's directed many of the TV shows that I grew up on. So you want to tune into that next Monday. And this week on Vegas Unwrapped, we have Steve and Sue Honorato.
Yes.
And I believe they're bringing a guest.
They're bringing a special guest.
Right, good. I'm
Yep.
glad because I put that out there that they're
Yeah,
bringing a guest.
they are.
And in the second hour, we're going to have a lot of fun with her name is Brandy May. She's a female.
Brandy May what?
Just Brandy May.
Okay.
She may do whatever. She's a female bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah.
She'll do whatever she wants to do,
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because I've spoken to her via Facebook. I've checked out her website.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
She will kick somebody's ass on Thursday if we get out of line. Let's put it that way.
And
she's a friend of Joe and Heidi.
From
so
everything I've heard, she's really,
Yes.
really a sweet
and she's
woman.
looking forward
Very
to it.
nice
We've been
woman.
communicating. I'm looking forward to it. Things may get out a little hand because, it is what it is. All right. Thank you for tuning in to Stars of VANR. Have a great week, everybody. We hope you had a good Thanksgiving as we get ready to turn the calendar into December. See you next week on Stars.
Thank
of
you,
VANR.
Aaron. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody.